พระครูPrasat Kantakun, or as Thai Buddhist people of the Sri Saket province know him, Luang Pu Mum or Luang Po Mum. He was the abbot of Wat Prasat Yer Nuea, Wat Prasat Yer Nuea, which means the temple of the palace of the Yer tribe, the northern palace of the Yer tribe. But actually, Prasat Yer Nuea is the name of a small township or village just close by to the temple. So the temple is named after the small township. Just for interest, the reason this township is called Prasat Yer Nuea is because centuries ago, in the times of the Ayutthaya kingdom or before, there was an ethnic minority, the Yer people, who originally moved from Thailand into the from China into the Ayutthaya area, and slowly ended up moving further to end up residing in Sri Saket. And they later split into 4 different smaller ethnic groups, and part of those people ended up making their homestead near where the temple of Wat Prasat Yer Nuea is now situated, and this gave rise, because of their presence, to the name of this township being Prasat Yer Nuea. I don't know if Prasat means shrine or it means actually palace. I don't know if there's a palace of these people in that township or not, but it's the name of the township. And so Luang Po Mum was the ex-abbot of the temple of Wat Prasat Yer Nuea. And he was born in the year 2429 BE. And he lived to the age of 93. He was ordained at the age of 12 years old, if I can count properly, in the year 2441 BE. And he remained ordained, remaining pure, never having had sexual relations or girlfriend, because he ordained at 12 as a Samanera novice monk, and remained ordained until he was reordained when he reached adulthood at, I believe, the age of 20, in the year 2449 BE. And so he spent 73 years as ordained life, and counting from fully aged bhikkhu. But he lived for 93 years. But of those 93 years, only 12 of them were spent as a lay person. And so he never got to see the non-ordained life before his childhood ended. He was also, apart from being the abbot of Wat Prasat Yer Nuea, he was also the bishop of the local municipality and all the temples within that particular district of Tambon Prasat Yer Nuea, which will have probably meant about 10 temples or something. In the very early years of his ordained life even, he already began to go out on Tudong, the Tudanka forest wandering, and was a great believer in the practice of Kammatthana, Vipassana mindfulness, and the forest Tudong wandering, of solitary wandering practice. And he wandered around the forests, the jungles, and the cliffy mountains and caves around the Phnom Dong Rek region, which is a mountainous, very jungly region in the lower area of the Isan, the northeastern Isan country in Thailand. And he crossed further on his travels over time into Cambodia, so in Cambodia, and stayed for many years in the forests in Cambodia and in temples there. And after many years, he came back into Thailand and came to stay at Sri Saket at Wat Prasat Yer Nuea, which was, of course, his birthplace. And so he, staying here the local devotees, including the Yer people, of whom there were many in this area, and the Thai Isan people, began to come and notice his very rigid practice and his strength of practice, and began to respect and to revere him. And he began to become a very important monk for the people, who looked to him for compassion and for his help. And of course, as it has always been with Thai Buddhist people, with their occult and animist beliefs, they would always ask Luang Pomum to make amulets for them to help relieve them of bad luck and bring them prosperity and happiness and heal them from their illnesses, and all of the blessings that Thai Buddhists will beseech from a powerful monk. Luang Pomum would most often make the amulets with his own hand and perform all the ceremonial empowerments and preparations himself to make solo empowerments, and then give final Buddha Abhiseka ceremonies, Puttapisek, with the other monks of the temple and invited monks, but that he was very prone to have his own hand and his own involvement in the making of the amulets, not just with the blessing and the empowerment. He raised many funds this way and used the funds to help the local folk and to complete many charitable projects, both to develop the temple and to develop facilities for lessening the sufferings and improving the lives of the local people of the area. As to Dhamma studies and actual academic status, he completed a great many attainments in studies and in his practice as a bhikkhu, and rose his status very many times to end up becoming abbot and bishop and archbishop, and was highly respected as well in the Sangha for his attainments in these areas. But in truth, he really was a Tudong master and a powerful monk who did use psychic powers and make amulets, but he was also a great student and a great practitioner of the Vinaya, and was respected both by Thai Buddhist devotees and by his peers and his superiors in the Sangha. He reached the royally given awarded status of Prat Sangkhatikan and Prat Kru Sanya Bat and Jau Awat Chan Ek. Chan Ek means like you have bachelors and doctors and masters. It means an abbot, but a master degree abbot, which means he can run any temple, no matter how important or difficult or how much administration he is equipped to administrate even the most difficult kind of temples to administrate, such as in the middle of a city or something, or a temple that does lots of actual building projects, and which isn't directly to do with the practice of developing enlightenment, but is one of the purposes of one of the functions of Buddhism in Thailand. And so he was also a very highly attained monk as far as academics and status is concerned, but he never showed interest in those things. He was in principle a Tudong master, forest master, and a powerful monk. And his amulets are many. They're far and few to find. They are not cheap, but they're not expensive. Some of them are very affordable, especially the less documented ones. And some of them are more expensive. In Thai Buddhist amulets, usually it will be the coins or sacred powder amulets. Some will have very expensive prices and some will not. That's very dependent on so many different things. But coins are usually always highly valued by Thai people because they don't break over centuries. You can keep them for thousands of years. And well, powder amulets too, but if you don't take care, they can break. And so coins are seen as a much more, just say, not permanent, but a more durable investment. And so they're usually will raise in value faster than sacred powder amulets will, but not always. But it's just a general rule, and that's also true with Lumpomum, that his coins will be, if any amulets are less affordable, there will be the coins. His takrut are quite rare, but all of his amulets are rare, and very little documentation, but there are a few catalogues and books which don't include all of his amulets, but it's a start. And he has a very cult following for those who collect his amulets. Seems to be it's what I call a niche. And apart from being very well known and popular in general, but there is a definite niche of devotees and of collectors who are very avid collectors, and it's part of what makes his amulets rare. And that perhaps he didn't make so many of each edition. But you still see them around. I don't think I will ever see every different model he ever made. I would love to, but you'll see some around sometimes. And that was a short synopsis of the monk Luang Pomum, or Luang Pumum, Luang Pomum, or his official monk's name, Prat Kru Prasat Kantakun. Prat Kru Prasat Kantakun, Luang Pumum, Intabanyo, Prat Kru Prasat Kantakun, Mum Intabanyo. And that was his basic biography. That's Ajahn Spencer for the Buddha Magic Project, signing off.